What's going on? What's happening? So, I'm a 90s dude. I remember most of the fights that Mike Tyson fought. And a lot of them didn't last. And they just went to like one round. You know, it was a one round and boom, TKO. You know what I'm saying? Dude out on the floor, he's gone. And I could tell you in the 90s, it was a magnificent time, you know, for us dealing with sports and just overall entertainment. You had Mike Tyson knocking people out. You had Michael Jordan, one of the best basketball players on the planet. Football was amazing. Deion Sanders. I mean, the list goes on. Hip hop culture, the music. It was the golden era. You had some of the best music coming out. It was a very exciting time to be alive. You know what I'm saying? But fast forward to now, you know, back in the days, in the 90s, I was in, my teens and my early 20s. Now I'm older. And even I know that there's certain things that, yeah, I'm in some decent shape. You know, I could run, exercise, lift weights, stuff like that. Squat, deadlift, all of that. I got some good numbers, for squatting and deadlifting and bench pressing and all of that. But at the same time, I know my body. And I ain't 20 years old anymore. I ain't 16 years old anymore. Certain things that I could have done back in the days, I may not be able to do now. Now, a lot of that stuff that I did back in the days, as far as being athletic, I leave that up to my son. And I'm not ashamed or embarrassed to admit that, he could beat me on some things. I want him to be better than me. You know what I mean? I know when it's time to step down. I know when it's time to take that torch and give it to someone, hand it down to someone else, in particular my son. But it seems as though that Mike Tyson hasn't learned his lesson. And it's crazy that I don't make anywhere near the amount of money that Mike Tyson makes. But I'm humble enough to know that at my age, it's things that I can't do. And that there is a thing called, Father Time. And he'll humble you, even if you don't want to be humbled. I don't understand a man like Mike Tyson can't understand that. And see, we want to sit back and we want to talk about Jake Paul and how much of an asshole he is, going around beating up older people. But we don't ever want to put the blame on the individuals that get in the ring with him. See, one thing I realize about Jake Paul, and I give it up to him, and a lot of people have, he's a businessman. He knows how to market and advertise some shit, an event. And as usual, the men that he's fought, majority have been black and older. As usual, what we do, we fall right in line. We fall for the money. And this is the reason why I don't want to make this a racial thing, a racist thing, or nothing like that. That's not what I'm about, but it's a consistency in the black community as well as the Caucasian community of the titles that they hold. And we always are slaves to the money. And the white man is always the one that runs shit. And in this case, it hasn't changed. That Mike Tyson went for the money. He could give a fuck about a legacy. He already said that with the little girl. You remember he did the interview with the little girl? And that interview was highly depressing. You gonna talk to a little girl like that? Well, y'all don't care about legacy. We all gonna die. I'm gonna be dead. And nobody's gonna care about that. This is a little girl. that looks up to you, that you're supposed to inspire and motivate because she's the next generation to do whatever she's going to do in life. But based on the conversation that you had with her, there was no motivation there. In your words, her life is just hopeless. There's a difference between being truthful, right, and being negative. At this point in time in this little girl's life, she don't really necessarily need to hear that type of truth. So therefore, you will be a negative. I know that this wasn't right. I know that Mike Tyson shouldn't have done this. It's a fact. So he gets in the ring and he's looking all sloppy and shit. And whether the fight was rigged or not, it doesn't make a difference. It goes to show the level of entertainment that entertains us now. For everyone to tune in to see a 27-year-old beat up on a 58-year-old or to tell us something. That our society is far removed from morality, principles, and just overall talent. I get the purpose or the reason why they bring a Jake Paul into boxing, because the numbers are low. He's bringing a whole different group of people, because he, once was a YouTube, a content creator. He's bringing a whole different audience over into boxing. That leads to money. But at the same time, look at what he's doing. He's beating up older people. And just that one time where he fought someone that was his age or around his age, he lost. And based on what I'm hearing, this guy that he fought, I think his last name is Fury. This guy was a C plus, a B, a C, a B, C plus, a B level fighter. Not an A list top contender. So he knows what he's doing. I can give him that. Jake Paul, that is. Good businessman. And as usual, what do? You use black men to get ahead. And if we're going to fault Jake Paul, we're going to fault the black man that have chose to fight him. Because ain't nobody putting no gun to your head. And that's a reality. So if you lose, then you just lose. But it's something bigger than that. It's something bigger than Jake Paul fighting a bunch of has-beens. It's something bigger than Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson. It's where we're going as a society. And I can tell you, I haven't been around the world, but I can tell you here in the United States, the music sucks. The food sucks. The air that we breathe sucks. Everything is poisoned. The water that we drink sucks. Entertainment. Basketball sucks. Everybody is going around saying, oh my God, this is so wonderful that LeBron James has his son playing alongside of him. Oh man, that shit ain't exciting to me. And that's real shit. You know how I see it? LeBron James got his son a job. Where's ownership? fuck running back and forth down that basketball court? What LeBron should have been able to do was buy a portion of the Lakers. I'm not saying it's possible. I'm just saying as an example. Buy a portion of the Lakers and pass that shit down to his son. So his son could be up in the skybox looking down on a bunch of Negroes going back and forth for the court like the non-blacks do. And I know what this generation is going to say. You old head. They referring to me. You old head. You don't know what you're talking about, and this and that and so forth. And it's good. You defend your generation. But I've lived on this planet long enough to know what natural born true talent is. I've seen the Emmitt Smiths of the world when it comes to the NFL. Lawrence Taylor, Deion Sanders. I've seen your Kobe Bryants when it comes to NBA. The NBA. Excuse me. Clyde Drexler. Monique Bowles. Larry Johnson. Scottie Pippen. Dennis Rodman. I've seen true talent. And that shit don't exist anymore. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that we are living in the last days and times. We are living in a society where overall society has been dumbed down. Ain't nobody smart no more. We got a bunch of smart gadgets, smartphones, smart cars, smart refrigerators, smart toasters. I'm not making this shit up. Look it up if you don't believe me. Every damn gadget and device or appliance we have is smart, with the exception of us. We rely on artificial intelligence, not human intelligence. This is the reason why we on a decline as a society. I couldn't look at that fight. No way. And I'm ashamed to say that I had my children look at it. I seen the highlights and I was like, yo, I'm glad I didn't even pay attention to this shit. This shit was boring as shit. And whether it was fixed or not, the only people that lost was the people that viewed it. Tyson as well as Jake Paul got paid. And once again, the people got played. Politics is crappy. You got two candidates. One is a goddamn prosecutor that claims she black. Another one is a businessman that claim he gonna change and make everything all right. But at the same time, he's a convicted felon that don't know anything about what it's like to struggle. How you gonna fix shit? How you gonna make it right for common folks and you don't even know what the fuck common folks are going through? You've never experienced it before. How can you empathize when you were born into wealth? Straight up. In the 90s, I was fucked up in the game. And all I needed was a couple of dollars to make things happen. What I mean by that is if I was hungry, all I needed was between $5 to $10. I could go to the grocery store, give me a loaf of bread, a carton of eggs, some cheese, a pack of Kool-Aid, oodles and noodles, and I was Gucci. And if I had a couple dollars left, Give me a pound of ground beef. That pound of ground beef, I can make hamburgers out of it with the bread that I use, that I have. I can make spaghetti. I could go, man, shit. I don't have to get the name brand shit. I could get the generic joint, you know what I'm saying, and get some spaghetti sauce for 99 cents. I can make so many things with the ground beef. Nowadays, you walking up in the store and you thinking you're going to get that, what I just named, for about $10, $12, you sadly mistaken. You get that shit for about, you paying about $30, and you're not going to get as much as I would get in the 90s. What I mean by that is it's a thing called shrinkflation. So let me take it back. You may be paying the same amount that I paid in the 90s for the things that I got, but the amount of the product, such as your eggs, you may not get a carton of eggs. It may be half of that, 6 instead of 12, for the same price though. How the fuck he gonna, what are you gonna do? Donald Trump, that is. You sitting down at the table, you got the water bill in front of you and the light bill in front of you. You trying to figure out, well, shit, I only got enough to pay for one. What the fuck you know about that? You calling the person that provides your energy, lights that is, you calling them talking about, can I get an extension? And they telling you, yeah, you know you can get an extension, but we got a payment plan. The payment plan that they try to work out with you is just as fucked up as, it's worse than the one that you might as well just pay the motherfucking bill, but you can't pay it. All this shit is a distraction, man. The elections, Puff Daddy getting arrested. What's your man? I forgot your man from Chicago. Lil Durk getting arrested. Tyson and Jake Paul. All that shit is just a big ass diversion. What we really need to be concerned about is society and where we're going. Because it's something that's around that corner that I know good and goddamn well the average human person, American, is not ready for. But you can't say you never seen it coming, because they always, this is one thing that I will say, they always let you know what they're going to do before they do it. So they put everything in movies. You already knew that there was going to be an emergence of AI. You already knew that there were going to be selfless cars, unmanned driving cars. You already knew that automation was going to take your fucking jobs. Robots was going to take your jobs. They let you know that ahead of time. They let you know what was going to happen in the near future. Hell, they came out with a movie called Demolition Man damn near 30, 40 years ago. About 30 years ago. Between 25 to 30 years ago. And they let you know what was up. If you look at that movie now, with the exception of radio frequency identification chips, RFID chips, which is really in your passports and your real ID cards, with the exception of the RFID chips, we're literally living like that. How they depicted it in movies, such as Demolition Man and the likes. But, hey, people are drawn to entertainment. And if that's the case, if you want to be entertained and you don't want to deal with the reality of things, you want your entertainment to take you away, well, guess what? In this day and time, you're not getting that. The things that entertainment the things that you want to put you to sleep because you don't want to be woke, you don't want to be conscious, the things that can put you to sleep or put you back to sleep is your entertainment, and everything sucks. And the reason why it sucks is because we are just a bunch of degenerates. We're not producing. In the case of entertainment, we're not producing Mike Tysons anymore, Michael Jordans anymore, Larry Birds anymore, Magic Johnsons anymore, Lennox Lewis anymore, Mike Tysons anymore. We're not producing, you know what I'm saying, Nas's and Wu-Tang Clan members and a Tribe Called Quest. I could go on. We're not. I'm done. I'm not one of those old heads that you won't catch me in the car listening to some old shit, you know what I'm saying, as I'm driving by you. No, passing by. No, I'm not doing that. I just got my music off. Now, you know, the thing of it is now I focus on myself. Because overall, this shit, all this shit, entertainment and everything else, was nothing but a distraction to distract you from homing in, knowing who and what you are. As the conscious community would say, know thyself. I got too much time on my hand to be focused on any and everybody else, as well as the distractions. I'd rather take the time out to focus on me. Now I truly get to see just how much I love myself compared to how much I was a fan, or rather a fanatic, to others. That's the problem. Instead of taking your time, investing your time into everybody else, including the Tyson and Jake Paul fight, why don't you take that time and invest in yourself? And if you have children, why don't you take that time to invest in them? That's the reason why some of your children don't like you. Because you spend more time, and they see it, investing in other things except for them, where they should be top priority. And the reason why I know what I'm talking about is because I used to be one of those people. I come home and I'm like, yo, ain't nobody running up to, because when their moms come home, they, oh, mama, but, well, you mean, that's what they call her. They running up to her, hugging her and all of that shit. I'm like, well, why I ain't got that type of love when I come in? Well, the reason why is because they know I ain't gonna spend no time with them. But the minute I turned around and started prioritizing my responsibility, that being my children, that's when I started getting that love. Now when I come through the door, they jumping up and down and grabbing me by the throat. Where you been? Blah, 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 blah. You see, these rich folks that entertain us, they make sure their family's straight. They make sure their kids are straight. Mike Tyson, he's trying to make his kid, one of the little girl become the next Serena Williams. He attending them tennis matches that she has. So the moral of this story, or this video, is fuck these entertainers. Fuck what they doing. Don't give a fuck about us. And they whack as it is anyway. I'm not gonna sit here and feel sorry for no 58-year-old man that sold the fuck out and got 20 million knowing his old ass should have been in a fucking damn ring anyway. Giving us that lousy ass entertainment. Whether it was rigged or not, you should have made that shit look good. Fuck them. Straight up. Spending no money on these motherfuckers. But I will take the time out to spend money on me. I will take the time out to spend money on my family. And that's what I advise you all to do. Straight up. Other than that, I'm out.